Fossil fuels, rice fields, landfills, burping cows. What is the common link between these disparate things? They are all important sources of methane. Methane or CH4. You may have last heard of this gas in chemistry class, but we need to talk about it again because it's a powerful greenhouse gas. It forms only 0.00017% of the atmosphere, but it's crucial in keeping the earth warm and habitable. Excess methane is a problem though. It's one of the most dangerous causes of global warming. In the first 20 years after it's released, methane is 86 times more powerful than carbon dioxide in trapping heat. In fact, it has been responsible for 40% of global warming since the Industrial Revolution. So where is all this coming from? We have some of the worst contenders. In third place, landfills. Piles of garbage produce methane when they rot. And then of course we have landfill fires caused by heat waves, cigarette butts and other sources. In second place, leakages from oil and gas companies and other industrial operations.
Burning natural gas produces much less carbon dioxide than burning oil or coal. Along the way to the burner, however, some gas escapes. Gas is mainly methane.
And coming in first is the agricultural sector, particularly paddy fields and those burping cows.
When we talk about agricultural methane emissions, it's primarily from rice cultivation. As you know, in rice cultivation, there is a lot of standing water that's left. You need to inundate the crop. That's the traditional way of growing rice. So what happens when you do that is there is something called anaerobic respiration. You let water stay for a long time. The oxygen levels get depleted. They go down. And then there is methane and nitrous oxide emissions that emanate as a result of that. And India produces quite a significant amount of rice.
Methane doesn't just have a big picture impact on climate change. It has a direct impact on you. Here's how it goes. Globally, increased methane emissions are responsible for half the observed rise in tropospheric ozone or ground-level ozone, which is a harmful air pollutant. It creates smog, thereby worsening bronchitis, triggering asthma, and permanently damaging lung tissue. Exposure to ground-level ozone has resulted in an estimated 1 million premature deaths each year. India is one of the top 5 emitters of methane. It also has dangerously high levels of tropospheric ozone. So what is the world doing to curb methane emissions? In November 2021, nearly 100 countries signed the Global Methane Pledge at the climate conference COP26. They made a promise to curb methane emissions by 2030. India, however, refused to sign it. Murthy, who is also part of the committee that maintains the national inventory of greenhouse gases, explains.
When you talk about agriculture in India, it's a climate sensitive sector. Secondly, much of the population that are dependent on agriculture are small and marginal farmers. And almost 51% of Indian agriculture is rain-fed agriculture.
The agriculture sector is the largest employer in India. Almost 3/4 of Indians depend on the village economy, and about half the population is dependent on agriculture for livelihood.
It's for subsistence in a large extent that, we could probably call it as survival emissions because people are producing food for subsistence. So obviously, do you want to burden the farmers by a target that you actually commit to at the global level, at the international level, and say that you need to cut down on your methane emissions? Is it really fair on a farmer who is basically fighting hand-to-mouth existence and trying very hard to even stay afloat?
It's not that India isn't working to reduce methane emissions, according to Murthy. India's scientists and policymakers are on it, trying different methods. New varieties of rice that require less water, better quality of cattle feed that can reduce methane emissions from cows, other technological developments for managing landfills and methane leaks in industries. They've even worked on coming up with an accurate measurement for methane emissions. But the process has been slow and expensive. You know what isn't slow anymore? Global warming. While it is considered second to carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas, curbing methane emissions is the fastest way to slow global warming. But can individuals help reduce this important driver of climate change? You can start by composting food and organic waste in your home. This reduces the waste ending up in landfills. Less waste, less decomposition by bacteria, less methane. Every little bit counts, and who knows, perhaps you could help avoid the next landfill fire.